Good evening. It is Friday, March 13th, 2026. I'm Travis, and this is the Daily Report. Well, first of all, it's Friday the 13th, second month in a row. February had Friday the 13th. March has Friday the 13th. It wasn't an unlucky day, though, just a very, very busy one. First of all, in the area around southeastern Wisconsin, wind was the big thing today. Our airport had one gust up to 68 miles per hour in wind. Around the greater southeastern Wisconsin area, a number of trees were uprooted from the ground, including huge, big, thick ones that were very old. Wind was mighty powerful today. A number of places lost electricity because the electric lines got blown down from the wind, or a tree falling on the electric lines did it, kind of thing. So that's been an issue. Now, my building never lost electricity today, but there were quite a few reports all around southeastern Wisconsin. Anyway, I was up early and I got humid earlier than I would like. I was scheduled to be part of a Zoom meeting this morning for the company, 10 to 11:30, and I made it, although as far as I was concerned, the meeting was so I am nominally watching the meeting, listening to it with one ear, but on the TV in front of me, I have The Price is Right, was much better, much better than the meeting. In any event, now when I get up and I get humid, most of the apartments in my building have a heat lamp in the bathroom. Not unusual. Many people have them. They're nice. They make the place a little warm. Well, I used to have a heat lamp. I no longer do. A couple of years ago, my heat lamp kept exploding. It's not nice when the heat lamp explodes while you're in the bathroom. All right. So after about 3 explosions, they swapped it out. I no longer have a heat lamp. I have a heat fan. Much nicer, much more efficient, makes the place much warmer, much quicker. And I've enjoyed that for the last couple of years, but a couple of weeks ago, guess what? The fan portion kept working, but the heat portion wasn't. It was just blowing cold air. So I reported it to maintenance, and I figured, well, it would take them 6, 8, 10, 12 months to get fixed, kind of thing. Well, lo and behold, that was 2 weeks ago. And today, this morning, while I was watching my Zoom meeting, there's a knock on my door, and lo and behold, it's maintenance, and they have a new heat fan to replace mine. So it took them about 45 minutes working in the bathroom, but I now have a nice heated space again. Knock on wood, it keeps working this time. What the heck? Holy moly. After the Zoom meeting, it was time for lunch. I did not go downstairs. I did not go outside. I found some frozen fish pieces in my own freezer. Air fried them for a little while. Had a salad with them. That was a pretty good lunch. What the heck? Holy moly. Spent the afternoon. We're still dealing with Christmas stuff. Hopefully tomorrow it will get to the basement. But last night when I recorded this, I said it was about 70% packed. We did some more. It's about 80% packed. And I hope, I will sleep late tomorrow because it's Saturday. But when I do get up and start moving around, I hope to get the rest of it done. And hopefully it will get into the basement. Check me tomorrow night and we'll see if it actually happened. Well, that was through the afternoon. St. Peter came over late afternoon, picked me up. We went to a Lenten parish fish fry. Now, the thing is, there are parish fish fries in all the different parishes around here. One I went to a couple of weeks ago was particularly good because they served clam chowder, which most of them don't, and had a salad bar, which most of them don't. So I wanted to go back there. When I went the last time, a couple of weeks ago, there was a little bit of a line. I probably spent 10 minutes in line before I got up to where they were serving the food. St. Peter and I walked in today. And to make a long story short, it took us, once we got into the back of the line, 55 minutes. They ended up, I found out later on today, they served 538 fish dinners. They did it. They had plenty of food. They didn't run out of food, but it took them a while to do that. And like I said, we were in line for 55 minutes. For me, that is uncomfortable and an annoyance. St. Peter and I are both diabetics, except mine always goes high, and I got to work too. get it low. St. Peter's goes very low. And if it goes too low, he can just keel over. We didn't want that to happen, and he had forgotten to supply his pockets with the hard candy that he carries all the time. So we had to go through a couple of contortions. I borrowed French fries from people who had been served dinner, and that helped. And then someone provided him with a can of Sprite, and that certainly took care of it until we got in. Got our dinner, sat down. We actually found another colleague there, so we sat down there and had a good meal. And like last week, was the same colleague we ran into last week at a different parish. And we sit along and start talking shop, and they had to kick us out again. We went down there by Uber, so I called the Uber. We waited, came back here, and St. Peter came upstairs, and as we usually do, we watched some of the political shows at night, and we solved the world's problems. We did that for another night, as we often do. I went downstairs to walk him out back to his car, and then, well, when he left, I came back in the building, and lo and behold, our weekend, I found St. Joseph. St. Joseph is the name I've given to one of our weekend security guards. The best security guard we have in the building. He only works on the weekends. And he works an occasional shift during the week if someone calls in sick. But good guy, St. Joseph is. And, well, I stood there after St. Peter went home for, I don't know, how long was it, St. Joe? 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and we solved the world's problems yet again. Well, when we were finished there, I came upstairs, and lo and behold, it was time for the Daily Report. And this has been the Daily Report, and I'll be back again tomorrow with tomorrow's Daily Report.